He don't want to come to this place. Don't want to come here. The man on that Khutbah, the man giving the lecture, he said we should make it in enjoyable spirits. He said that one parent wanted to give a gift to the Imam so the Imam could give it to the child at the Jumuah. Well, we got 400 or 500 people in there. We can't bring a bunch of 400 or 500 gifts to the Imam and tell him to give it to the child. But the brother was saying, what he was trying to say, let's make this a pleasant experience for the child. Don't make a place he feel like he's being punished. If he used to being sitting down and being quiet at home, he ain't gonna come here and feel like he's being punished. But if you let him run wild at home and then you bring him here and you want him to be seated, it's unpleasant for that child. He has no right. You feel it, the parent, you let him run wild at home. I'm old-timey, but let me say this. If you tune in with a child, that child can hurt himself. He can get hurt because he don't know. You didn't teach him anything safe. You didn't teach him anything. Don't touch this. Don't touch. You didn't teach him. Now this child can get hurt because he's so used to doing any way he wants. He might grab some electrical outlet. He might grab electrical. He might pick up a sharp object. He might pick up somebody's pistol. He may pick up a knife. He may walk out in the street in front of a car. He may walk under a building, around the building, and you know, that's one thing like country folks. They used to tell the child, stay away from such thing. Might be a snake out there. And they not only warned their child, they kept their eye on them. What is it nowadays that we can't do things and keep an eye on the child? We can't go in the kitchen and I should say make some biscuits, but we know that ain't gonna happen. We can't go in the kitchen, open up a loaf of bread, and keep an eye on our child. We can't go in the kitchen and take all the old Pillsbury, boom, hit the can on the table, and put some biscuits in the pan, and still watch our child and listen for that child in case they make a noise or use your noise, or they too quiet. What is it about us that we can't watch our child and still do things? We have to concentrate 100% on a telephone call, but we don't know where the child is. We don't even know he walked out the room. We are failing. If we taking our children to Jumuah, why don't we make Fridays? We give them, every parent don't have to buy a gift. We gonna make it Friday. Okay, Friday's ice cream day. It's just that simple. Our ice cream day. If you don't have many desserts at the house, Friday is a particular dessert day. Associate that with Jumuah. Associate that with Jumuah. Also, at the same time, we have to understand that children will have responsibilities in this world. We don't bribe them and pay them just to be quiet. Our parents didn't bribe us and pay us to be quiet. Your reward was not getting your behind beat. That was the bribe right there. They told us to be quiet. They told us, don't do this. And the very first time you disobeyed, it was corrected on the spot. That's another problem we got. Ain't got something wrong with you. You got to tell your child 4 or 5 times not to do something. Or you got to tell them 4 or 5 times to do something. You done failed already. You shouldn't tell them but once. Maybe twice because you didn't get his attention the first time. Maybe it's twice. Maybe you didn't raise their voice loud enough. Yusuf, come here. Yusuf, that should be the end of it right there. Now, Yusuf, you begging, you pleading. I never called mine that way 1 or 2 or 3 times. When I call him, he didn't move. He know what was happening. He know what was happening. And that's another thing. Fathers, we gonna stop being men. We have stopped being men. We look at this garbage on television and let them create pictures in my mind and let them tell us what it's supposed to do, what a man's supposed to be. Our fathers didn't look at no television, didn't let nobody tell them what a man's supposed to be. Let me tell you something about men. For those who don't know what a man is. A man solves problems. A man is more concerned about outcome than feelings. See, that's the mama's part. She's concerned about the child's feelings. Men are concerned about outcome. You know why? Because I have been a boy and I have been a young man. I'm an older man now. I know what's going to happen down the road if my child don't follow a certain path. I know if my son hang out the wrong crowd that he's liable to get in trouble with the law. I know if my son don't learn the respect of authority, he's going to get in trouble in school and the law. Because we have not taught him, fathers, we have not taught them to respect authority. Fathers, we are worried about outcome. We're not worried about his feelings. That's her position. I don't want my son wearing a daggone orange jumpsuit. They don't tell you on television how to keep your little black son from wearing an orange jumpsuit because everything on television is created for the middle class whites. I don't want my son standing on that television on some screen somewhere with an orange jumpsuit on. So we got to say things to him and do things to him, make him get in line so when he get 14 or 15, he would not be being arrested. 16 or 17, standing up someplace with a daggone orange jumpsuit on. Looking stupid. Facing 15, 20, 30 years, maybe in life sentences. Because we fail to be men. We fail to be men sometimes. We got to be firm. I'm telling you, you have to be, I didn't say brutal, I didn't say harsh. I said we have to be firm with young boys. It's a difference in being brutal and harsh and being firm. When daddy opened his mouth, everybody's supposed to respond. It ain't no, I don't feel like it. Oh, I'm going to stand there and back talk. You put up with that, so you forgot your duties as a father. You forgot your duties as a father. I'm concerned about my son's outcome. I ain't concerned about his feelings. If my son go down there hang with some bad boys, he's down there doing something wrong, and I found out about it, you think I'm concerned about his feelings? That's his mama's job, be concerned. I'm going to wear his behind out. I'm going to let him know why. Because I grabbed my oldest son one time, he slipped off smoking cigarettes. I bought him and his buddies all up in the house. He about 7 or 8 years. I bought him and his buddies in my living room. And took my son and beat him in front of his buddies. Oh, that's cruel. He don't smoke. He's almost 40 years old. He don't smoke. He's married. He's raising a family. He got a job. Ain't never been locked up. Them little knuckleheads in there I beat him in front of. Some of them fell out of school. Some of them doing prison. Some of them dead. If I bring him in here right now, you'd be surprised how many little boys he went out played in the street with when he was 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old are dead or doing long prison sentences. You know what I told them little clowns while I was beating my son? I said, I'm beating my son because I love him. Your parents don't love you. That was harsh, morning. I told him, I'm whipping my son because I love him. But I don't want to smoke no cigarettes. Because I know once he starts smoking cigarettes at 7, 8, 9 years old, they're going to go on to other things. We are men, we know. We look down the road. It ain't about my son's feelings. It's about the man that I want him to be. It's about the man that I want him to be. And as a Muslim, I know what kind of man I want him to be. I'm not lost. I want him to be exactly what he's doing now. He's running a little slow. He's running a little behind. But he's married. He's raising a family. He's going to school while he's working. But I whipped him in front of his friends, and I didn't care. It wasn't about his feelings. It's about outcome. If you ain't worried about the outcome of your son's children, there's something wrong with you. It ain't about their feelings, men. It's about outcome. At the same time, we don't want to be brutal. We ain't sending nobody to the hospital. We ain't breaking no bones. We ain't leaving no scars, physical scars. But we're putting them on the straight and narrow, as used to say. And whether he wanted to go to church, it wasn't a choice of mine to go to church or not. My dad said go, and we went. I didn't leave the church because my daddy was I had a dislike for the church. I see a whole lot of good that come out of the church. I go down these country small towns and the country roads, you see a whole lot of responsible men in church on Sunday morning praying. They're responsible. And they're raising their sons. So I ain't got that. That's not the reason I left the church. I left the church to go to the world. And the church couldn't hold me. When I came into Islam, Islam opened my eyes and let me know that I was headed the wrong direction. But the thing of it is this, we got to be men, we got to stand up and be men, we got to know our job as men. One of the things that I have seen a lot, and one of the biggest lies I ever told, I'm going to end up a little bit. We got this thing going around these days, women, I don't need a man. Tell me a lie. If you're raising children, you need a man. I'm talking about women. If a woman is raising children, she needs a man in that house. Whether she's smart enough to understand it or not, she needs a man. I'm telling you. See, the fact that you've never been a man, you don't know what a man brings to a house. A woman don't know what a man brings to a house. She don't know. She ain't never been a man. It's something a man brings to a house. God put it in him. Allah had put it, when Allah decided that he was going to be a male in the mother's womb, it's something that he put in him that he's supposed to bring into a home. Society would brainwash you out of it. A sister, very smart sister, told me something a long time ago. And these fools these days probably ain't got nothing to say. This sister I never get her, Sister Betty Hassan. I'm going to call her name. Sister Betty Hassan told me years ago, about 20 years ago, she said, I don't need a man for economic reasons. That's what these fools nowadays need to be saying. They don't need a man for economic reasons. Sister Betty Hassan, she had 2 sons. And she was a heterosexual female, and she was a good Muslim. She said, I don't need a man for economic reasons. She was smart enough to know that man was half of her deen. She was smart enough to know that she needed a father for them sons. She's smart enough to know that someone missing in her house. You see, Sister Betty Hassan, she came out of a 2-parent family. Betty Hassan came out of a 2-parent family, mama and a daddy. Sister Betty Hassan, she was married herself, but the man she married, he left for some reason. I don't know why.